listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there.
All right. What's up, Kim?
Hey, how's it going?
You know,
Good.
It's going.
Yeah.
Did some calendar planning last night. It seems that summer is gone.
Right. It's all planned out.
It is all planned out. 2 months of scheduling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fitting in between like camps and trips, and then wanting to have like fun time, like going to see concerts. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of, truth be told, that was what we were doing. We were looking at concerts because there's a special right now for the $25 tickets.
Yeah.
So we went through the whole list and we're like, which one do you want to see? But what else? And then he's like, okay, what about this day? I was like, is that the only day left open for like the whole summer? Because it's like just like pockets here and there with camps and everything. And then Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. I'm not good with being that kind of center of attention. It's a matter of like, so Mother's Day, what do you want to do? I'm like, I mean, yes, I want to celebrate my mother for giving me life, but I feel very weird when my children have to do it for me. So I was like, let's go get drunk and karaoke, something, I don't know.
I've been dropping hints. Like I've been reminding everybody that it's coming up because I feel like Kevin, he might remember, but I just want to make sure. So I bought a gift for me like the kids to give me.
Oh, I love that.
And then
that's always good.
You know you're going to love it.
I like circled it on the calendar and was like, okay.
Yeah.
Just really, I don't want gifts necessarily. I just want to maybe like clean the house and like chill out. I can read and listen to birds.
See, I was like, what about a sound bath? Why don't we do like a family like meditation? And nobody was digging that suggestion whatsoever. It's like we could cry, share our feelings. But I don't have any small children at home anymore, but that's my balance. That's my juggling, is trying to figure out my adult children, and then my boyfriend has an 8-year-old at home. So I'm trying to find that balance of all of this. And then, as my work, I try to figure out how I can, make money in the interim of that. Right. How about you? Like, what's the juggling like for you around this time?
It's a lot of kid stuff, and then less so much stuff for me. And like for Mother's Day, like I want to treat my mom too. Like when I was younger, I used to wake up ridiculously early because they'd all joke that I slept in. And so for Mother's Day, I'd like prove her wrong and get up like at 5 a.m. and make breakfast for her and like startle her out of bed. And so, and she always mentions that still. So I was like, all right, we'll make you breakfast at a reasonable hour and then celebrate me then after that.
Like, so reasonable hour. That's a good little suggestion in
I
there.
too don't want to get up early now.
Correct.
So.
And frankly, that's almost it. It's like Mother's Day. Can I sleep all day? I mean, again, I don't want to, mine are now grown. I don't want to, say that I need it right now. But at the same time, it's like, what are the things that, like, I love you, but can I just be by myself in bed all day? Every day's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
One of the things that I try to do in this time is have, like, the things that I have to do. Like, so in the summer, it was like, if I go through the calendar, I know I'm going to go home to the cottage. So I'll write that in first. Mm-hmm. Like that's a must. I'm going to prioritize that kind of family time and whatnot. And then allow myself to have 2 festivals or what, when the kids were younger. Mm-hmm. Do you have any kind of tips or tactics on how to manage that foreseeable juggle?
No, just keep swimming.
Yeah, I like that.
I suppose I just kind of plan around the kids. Like they don't do as many summer camps as they used to. Mm-hmm. Because I was working full time and it was just like they need to be at camps. And so big trips weren't a thing, but now working for myself, then I can they don't have to do as many summer camps, and then I can plan like a somewhat longer trip. And
that's nice. Side note, I was talking about you yesterday.
Oh, good. Thank you.
A producer friend of mine was saying that they had to set the alarm at midnight game to sign their children up for summer camps. And I was like, well, if you listen to one of our earlier podcasts, I'm trying to tell Kim to make a Excel spreadsheet available to her,
right,
to her audience, so that it makes it easier. Because
summer
I was like,
camps, I had like an Excel sheet.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
planning because like both kids had just different interests, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, I'll try to put them in the camps that fit them. But then if there were
good.
different locations and different times, and it was
Yeah.
nuts.
I'm not a
I don't
spreadsheet
know.
person, and I would very much appreciate. I should probably not peer pressure you into this, but I'm saying it might go. He seems to think that would be a good thing. Just giving you feedback.
Just sell that.
Right.
Sell summer camp
Template.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Send it out.
All right. So
Trademark.
why don't we introduce our guest who I think, judging from her bio, that you may have some tips and tricks on the same subject.
Absolutely.
You.
Yes. So this is Meghan Schlattman. I was going to mispronounce her last name already. It's a good start. All right. Meghan was born and raised in Omaha, and she teaches exercise science. Teaches in the exercise science department at Creighton University. She met her husband during gross anatomy while working on her Doctor of Physical Therapy degree. And now they have 3 kids, 5 current and former foster kids, and 3 dogs. She has to be careful because my daughter is determined to dog nap at least one of the dogs. And then Meghan, welcome to the show.
She did remind me of that yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
She's plotting. She's plotting. You keep getting cute puppies. She's gonna
Well,
steal.
I mean, yes, we try.
Yes.
What kind of dogs?
2 sheepadoodles and a Weimaraner.
Puppy. Gosh, favorite color of gray ever. Whenever I'm like trying to get a paint, I was like,
Yes.
do you know Weimaraner? I really want that gray with that little shift on the light. Sorry, I'm going sidetracked.
Hugo's quite cute. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so any tricks?
Oh gosh. My iCalendar has a different color for each kid. And they are all shared with everyone. So in hopes that if they do actually look at the calendar, or minimal, my husband looks at it, that we all kind of know where we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, summer is like, it's the fine line of keeping them active, but not overly committed to stuff. Because I know my kids, there's days that, and I feel it too, just want to lay next to the pool and do absolutely nothing and not be shuffled from one thing to the other and driving all over Omaha and doing things. And so I signed them up for a few like half-day camps here and there. And they do go away for a week to go to Camp Foster, which they love because that's not really like, it doesn't seem like a burden. They love to do that, and I love it because they're all gone at the same time. But yeah, it's just kind of, I mean, we just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might want that spreadsheet as well.
Yeah, seriously, no. I mean, we've texted each other at like 7:55 a.m. Are you waiting? I'm waiting. My fingers over the mouse, like waiting to click. Like, it's a process.
Humble day camp. It's just.
Yep.
I had no idea, honestly.
Oh yes.
I'm just like so flabbergasted by this. Everybody's telling me. I was like, wow.
And apparently Camp Foster is almost the same way. No one told me that part where I thought.
Yeah. Because it's actually, it's like 6 a.m. Is it 6 or 7 a.m.?
I don't know.
It's early.
I was
it
late.
opens up. And
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and even if you're there, quote, there on time and waiting and like ready to click, you don't get in sometimes.
Yeah. My son was waitlisted for the week that he wanted to go.
Right.
And I'm like,
It's just
it's
insane.
August before, like it was last August.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I do that. I get frustrated enough when I'm on the queue for like wait lists or for like tickets to a
At least with
concert.
tickets, like you click and you're put in an electronic queue.
Yeah, you're
they
like,
need
you
to
are
start
150th in line.
But then people are going to start like waking up at 4 a.m. to get in line and
Right? Then you're going to have scalpers for like the spots in camp.
scalpers for summer camp. Oh my gosh.
And you're just going to inflate those prices and everyone's going to pay like 3 times
Pay
the
people
amount.
to wake up early to be your clicker. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I mean, maybe
that's what you could do.
That's the side hustle.
Yes.
There you go. we were wondering, are there like any non-negotiable summer activities or summer musts for your family?
Well, we belong to Field Club, and that is like, my kids were counting down to the day the pool opened before starting to count down the day school ends. So that is for sure non-negotiable activities. And we go to Okoboji for a week.
Yeah.
With my whole family. And so kids have a blast. It's
The
all
whole family likes
like my brother and all of his kids, my
Oh.
sister and all of her kids, and she comes in from New York. My brother's here in town, and so all the kids get to be together, and so they think it is really fun to watch all of them because the age range of kids is from 22 to 10, so they all
Fun.
just on the lake all day and
That's nice.
karaoke at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds same. Karaoke should
Yeah,
be part of
I mean,
everything.
seriously. No, but it's super fun. But just if it was up to my children, they would just rather do nothing all day,
Yeah.
all summer long. And just being outside but yeah, our trip to Okoboji is kind of, and it's a little bittersweet this year. It's probably the last time we're going to go as a whole group because of the kids my nieces and nephews are getting older and like actually have real jobs.
Yes.
And do they want to use part of their 2 weeks vacation hanging out with
Right.
their
Right.
extended family?
Right.
Or having internships or jobs because they're all in college and whatever. So this will kind of be the last hurrah, I think, with as many of us that can get together. And,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do your kids have any non-negotiables? I wonder. I didn't think about that when we were talking, Kim, but I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, getting together with friends, and the one camp that they ask about besides Camp Foster is going to Duchenne's summer camps.
Oh, yeah.
They love their STEAM camps and art camp and things that they do. They have a lot of fun there. My oldest is a freshman at Duchenne, and they've all gone to preschool there, so they
Awesome.
going down there for stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't think that's one camp that I don't think I've had the kids registered in or
yeah.
I've done
I think.
Christian camp.
I mean, Charlotte would love it.
I bet.
They get to
I would
play
love
with like little robots and program them and use the 3D printers and motion capture stuff.
I have to check out the date for that then.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's a half day one,
okay.
and I think it might line up with the Humane Society one.
Oh, okay.
So like Humane Society's in the afternoon and Duchenne's in the morning.
Yep.
See, this is what people need.
I know. This kind of conversation here.
All the things.
Even
yeah.
you.
Interesting. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
you know?
can learn things.
Yes,
So,
in that
exactly.
sense, man.
like we don't have like necessarily like a non-negotiable. I mean, pool. We sign up for the pool.
Yeah.
We do Brook Hill,
Yeah.
and but at the start of summer, I have the kids make a list of things they want to do, or like kind of like a goal, ideally. And like Henry's is pretty short, standard, and Charlotte's is all involved with like, I want to meet a wolf,
Yeah.
and I want to get wolf stuffies, and I'm just like, really, Charlotte?
wolf,
I think
wolf, wolf,
last year it was
Always
like
wolf.
5
Yes.
wolf things, and I'm like,
So is Lizzie.
I'm like, okay.
They share an obsession for wolves.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
it's amazing.
And then she met Scatterjoy Acres has a wolf, and they have a wolf dog, and so we were like,
my
check
gosh.
2
So
off there.
well, we need to go.
Right? Like she was just like in heaven, like I just want to sit here and just. I mean, the wolf didn't really come to the fence, but
Yeah.
she was just like staring at it, and
I love it.
Well,
So
I
the
think we
closest
know
wolf
where
is there.
Lizzie's going to be sitting for
Or-
the rest of the summer.
right, that or at the wildlife safari,
Yeah.
and look for wolves there. So
So what about like go-to things with your kids in the sense of like new experiences or, sometimes I would be like, I haven't taken them to the Sac Museum when they were younger or
Right.
like different areas that I was trying to expose them to that they, we wouldn't have time otherwise
Yeah.
except for in the summer.
I've only done it once, and the kids keep asking to do it again, and it was during spring break 2 years ago when I dropped the ball and didn't plan anything. And my best friend also didn't do anything when her 3 kids, and so we got a room down at Embassy Suites in the Old Market and got 2 suites next to each other, and so like it was like a big slumber party, and we went to Zio's for dinner, and we went to Hollywood Candy, and we went to the Emporium, and we went to like all the places that we don't really get to all the time.
Yes.
And then played in the new park. And it was luckily nice weather for spring break in the beginning of March. And was not sleeting, raining, freezing, whatever. So we could hang out there. And so my friend and I sat by the fire pits, and the kids all just ran around the park. And they still say that was like one of their favorite spring break trips
Oh, how
ever.
fun.
I'm like,
I
what
love
about
it.
Disney? We spent a lot of money on Disney. This was better. Okay. But no, but they had so much fun, and it was really cool to we hung out at Homer's for a while and just to show them all the different places that I used to hang out, like when I was in middle school and high school. And,
Yeah.
like Omaha's fun.
Actually, I think I saw you that day. You said something that reminded me. I have a picture of the kids.
And yes, sitting on the beam. That's where we met.
That's right.
That's
and
where
there's
we
like,
met. Yeah.
we had like these ropes of candy. I'm like,
Yes.
where on earth did
Because
you
we
guys?
had just
That
come
is
from Hollywood
hilarious.
Candy.
I'm like, wait a minute. I know
With,
this
like,
story.
Pounds. Like
Yeah.
every random.
I took pictures. I was like, please can I take pictures of this ridiculous candy that you have? And just like holding up this like massive amount. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
that's
See,
what
we
it is.
figured it out.
Exactly.
I knew we'd
I'll
get
come
there.
around.
Yeah. But kids are funny that way.
Yes.
Those little, we think that, okay, I'm going
Right.
to spend all this money. We're going to go to
Right.
these places.
It's like the
we're
little
gonna-
things that
Yeah.
seemingly are last minute can sometimes
was
be
like-
huge.
Yeah.
When I asked the kids like favorite trips, and Henry's was like Clear Lake, Iowa. So it's kind of like not Okoboji in the sense that Okoboji is much
Right.
more things to do, but lake in Iowa.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I liked. They had a 4th of July festival going, so there were rides
fun.
and stuff, but like
Yeah.
just hanging out by the lake, and I'm like, not Disney.
Yeah.
Like nope.
Right. My kids love the cottage to this day. They're in their 20s. But
Is that in Canada then? Or?
yes.
Okay.
So on
beautiful.
it's on the southern bay of Lake Huron. It's called Manitoulin Island. We go there since they were, I think Parker was 2. So we went every summer. And up until recently, there's no cell service. So it was like, it was their
Complete
favorite thing to
disconnect.
do.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because I was like, okay, cool, because we just get to go home, right? But like one of their favorite times in childhood, again, they're older now, but this one time my daughter, we used to do dance parties before bed, and she was really little, and we had a dance party go awry, and she bonked her head in the corner of a nightstand and just busted it wide open.
Oh gosh.
It's like, 9 o'clock at night, little ones, blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Take them to the emergency room, and they had to wait to numb it because it was such a deep thing. So they put this like movie on. We're in our PJs, right? And I'm like so concerned.
Yes.
And to this day, they both would say that was probably one of their most favorite times as a family at the emergency room. I'm like, because they're just like, cool, we'll get to watch this movie we wanted to watch. It's like it's late. We get to stay up late. Like, you got stitches, well, whatever.
Blood gushing out
Minor
your
head wounds.
So anyways, yeah, sorry,
That's
that
so
was
funny.
totally off topic on that. Man alive. I'm going to lean on Kim. Let's bring it back a little bit. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Heard you're a volleyball coach.
Yes, I am. So I'm hoping they won't be too upset, but I'm coaching 5th grade next season. Oh. I won't be coaching them in 6th grade.
Oh.
Or it's 7th grade. They try to find outside coaches for 7th and 8th grade just because they're truly now moving into a competitive realm. And so not having parental coaches is a preference. Mm-hmm. And Evelyn was complaining that I've never coached her volleyball team. So, but yeah, I played volleyball in college, and people shared that information with the powers that be. And so I got asked to coach when the kids were little, and it's fun. I like it. It's like herding cats at times. The first time I ever coached was actually before I had children, and it was 4th graders, and I came with a whole list of drills and all these things we were going to do, and 5 of them asked if they could bring their American Girl dolls onto the court with them. And I was like, and so this is a ball. You don't let the ball touch the floor. We're going to run. I'm going to make you so tired that you can't argue with me, and then we'll practice.
Right.
But yeah, so seeing my kids' friends and how they are outside of the classroom is always fun to see. Sometimes it's not fun to see. Sometimes it's like, oh, now I understand the things that are being said when you come home from school.
That's funny.
But for the most, and volleyball is interesting because there's absolutely nothing you do in your daily life that you do on the court for volleyball. Mm-hmm. Like for basketball or soccer, like kids run or they dribble a ball or they kick a ball around. And so they're kind of used to those skills. Dive into my PT-ness a little bit here. They're the gross motor skills needed to do, like, you don't squat down and use your arms that way. You don't hit the ball overhead. You don't, shuffle around and the spatial perception and stuff. And so actually 3rd and 4th graders don't possess those skills yet. developmentally. They're just getting there, and so that's why it's so exciting to watch. It's like serve in the net, serve in the net, serve in the net. But to help them kind of understand their bodies and how they move and all of that, it's just kind of cool to watch them, like the light bulb go off and see how that happens.
I love that perspective that you gave. I didn't think about as a PT the kinetics of it or the little fine tuning of it. When we were talking, I was like, so I played volleyball in college as well. And my children didn't play any of my sport. I was a three-sporter. I just happened to play volleyball in college, but neither, like, my children didn't want to play. So I was never put in a position to coach. Had I been asked to coach any of my children, I probably would have said no. I know I would not have been fair. I would have had such a high expectation of.
Well, it is definitely difficult. I mean, I think what helps is that kids don't really want to play either. They're doing it to be with their friends, not necessarily because they want to like get better at volleyball.
Got it.
So it's a little painful for me, but it makes it easier on the side of like, oh, well, I know you don't want to do that. And to be more objective with the girls and things like that. They love watching volleyball. We have season tickets to Supernovas and
going tonight.
Yep, going tonight. Although my older two don't necessarily want to go to all the games. Yeah. My youngest is totally into it. Cool. Loves it. So it'll be interesting to see how my experience coaching her will vary from the other two. Because she's actually excited about it and into it. And so it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I really am totally stuck on your perspective of like the body mechanics of it. Because you're so right. I went to play pool the other day and my boyfriend's like, why are you leaning like that? Because that's what I do, right? Like, as a volleyball player, when you get down to a certain level, I'm not going to operate my arms the same way anybody else does. Because to me, I'm using my hips and rather than my upper body. But nobody gets that. Right. I'm like, why are you doing it all wrong? I don't know how else to do it.
It's just me. Leave me alone.
What about you, Kim? Have you coached your kids?
I have. So we did volleyball. I'm more of the assistant to the coach sort of thing. And it's a little bit of struggle. Like, not so much that because Charlotte wants to be like the best or anything, but like she's a clinger at volleyball practice. So like she just wants to be by my side. I'm like,
Lizzie,
you've got to go. You've got to do the volleyball stuff. Yeah. Like, I have to be a coach. And, but we did volleyball and then soccer for the longest time. And soccer, like, volleyball is more of a recent sport that I've started enjoying and learned because I didn't play that in school at all. And I more just started playing like sand volleyball and enjoying that. But like soccer was like my thing. And when the kids started out, it was adorable. Like just like the little mini kids just running around like as long as they can go one direction, right? Like Charlotte would see a dog and she'd just run off the field like during the game, like to go pet a dog. And as I got older, it was more of a struggle to coach. And it wasn't so much like, I think they both started losing interest at different grades of soccer. But then just coaching other kids. Like, I loved being able to watch kids improve each year. And it was neat to see, like, their progression. And just like, they learned that skill and they're using it. But then some other kids just it was just harder to deal with, like, attitudes the older they got. And I was like, okay, you know what?
Which is also why I'm not so sad to be going down to coach younger grades.
The younger grades they're not nice so much and adorable and
combative attitudes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And it rears its ugly head in 6th grade. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Especially for the girls. Yeah. So, but no, I voluntold my husband to coach 3rd grade soccer for our youngest. He played soccer forever. And so I was like, come on, like, help out. And he'd come home and be like, the whiner was doing this and the crier was doing that. And I was like, do you know any of their names? No. So I bought him a Roy Kent t-shirt to wear. Yes. The first time I coached.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, at least represent who you're being.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I miss Ted Lasso.
I know. Seriously.
Getting, a little sidetracked here.
Right. Okay. So we've talked a lot about your life as like a parent and in relation to what your kids do. But we're curious about like what you do. Like if you had a free afternoon, no games, no responsibilities, and you could go do what you enjoy doing, what would that be?
I'd probably go walk to the park and read a book by myself, or just stare out into at trees or whatever, and be alone. I feel so much of me is needed in teaching. Students are asking me questions, come home, kids are like, mom, 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 mom. So just to be alone in a space where there aren't any asks. Yeah. And not being touched.
It is nice. I love my kids, but
I love them, but it's like, hey.
Yes.
Yeah. That has gotten a little bit better since I stopped practicing PT and now just teach, because it was like I'd touch people all day at work. And then I'd come home and my kids would touch me all day. And by the time I went to bed, I was like, I need a deprivation chamber to like sleep in to recharge for the next day. And so at least that's not as significant. But no, just kind of checking out, leave my phone at home.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm not too proud to say. I mean, the movie Bad Moms, the moment when Christine Applegate gets in her car and does the scream, and she's like, you haven't done that before, and it's like, oh no, I even taught when I had my program at Westside, I taught my students to scream. I was like, let's go out into a field.
Yeah.
This is today's assignment.
Yep.
Everybody scream at the top of your lungs. It's excellent, and they're just like, oh. So no, I can't. I don't know how to do that, And I was like, it is one of the most cathartic things.
Yes.
To just like literally get in your car and shut everybody out, scream, let it all out, and you're just like, all right, I'm good. I just needed to hear my own voice.
Yes, exactly. Right.
That's more so. It's sometimes not even in anger. It's just sometimes you're just like so robotic in the way that you respond.
Yeah.
That you're just like, wait, I got to make sure I can still scream. I don't know. Okay, so the park. So any particular parks?
We live right by Memorial, so I'd walk over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the two ends, I'm very drawn to that, or go lift really heavy things at the gym.
Yes, catharsis.
With very loud music and noise canceling headphones.
I still jump rope.
Oh, nice.
Like multiple times a week since volleyball, since I was little. So like it's just still my go-to kind of thing. But any other favorite spots in Omaha? Like any new gems that you've just discovered
Well,
recently?
the new park downtown is just awesome. Fun to let the kids go run around or just hang out. I know the last couple of years, my husband and I, instead of getting each other gifts for Christmas, we do a staycation weekend. And so we stayed at the Farnham Hotel this past winter and just, walked to go to dinner.
How is that place? Like I've seen pictures.
Gosh. It's so nice.
It's
like
so nice.
You're old when you're really blown away by like shower fixtures. Shower heads and shower doors. Everything was just done really well, and it's a really cool location because it looks right on the park. And so, we walked over and got coffee and then sat in the park in the morning and then walked to dinner and just walked around downtown. And there was a Creighton basketball game that we went to one night, and then just kind of lived without kids for a weekend. And so I've always loved downtown. But growing up in high school, it was a little seedier. Parents weren't necessarily too excited about my friends and I hanging down there too much, but we still did. In the museums, I love all the art galleries. There's, just the art scene in Omaha is kind of shocking in a way. And outdoor music events that, whether it's Jazz on the Green or just the different little pop-up things that'll happen around town, whether it's Maha or Outlandia or things like that. Those are the things I love to do.
Awesome.
I'm trying to explore more of West Omaha because I just don't go there.
Yeah.
I always call Village Point Village Pointless because I don't ever go there. The only time I go there is to go to the Apple store if something's broken.
Yeah, I have to plan other activities.
Right, exactly. There has to be other reasons why we're going out there. But, there's one that I just discovered. Well, it's not really west, but it's south. Is went and saw the Indigo Girls.
Yes,
at at the Astro.
Yep.
It was awesome. It is such a cool venue, and how it does. You can flip the stage and it opens up to it be outdoor or indoor.
Yeah.
And looking at their lineup of bands coming is amazing.
Yeah, it's really
so.
good.
I think. I went to undergrad in Massachusetts and got asked routinely, like, if I had to milk cows before I went to school, or bizarrely enough, got asked if I was scared of Native Americans, and I was like, "It's not 1884."
Strange thing to say about to me.
Like, you obviously don't know what exists between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, and so, this outside perception of people only know like Warren Buffett and the zoo. And the zoo is amazing. It is amazing. But, like, there's just so many other things that, and the accessibility of it, I think in larger cities where you have various art options or music options or theater, that it, cost, distance to get there, the pain in the ass it can be to drive to, or public transportation to, from, all of that we don't have to deal with. We do on our level, but I always kick myself for complaining. Like, if I have a 15 to 20 minute commute,
yes, yes.
Why is it taking so long?
Oh, every time I go home to when I go to Toronto and I get caught in rush hour, I'm like, oh, okay. This is actual rush hour.
Never mind. Yeah.
So when I come back, I have a whole new perspective and appreciation for rush hour here in Omaha.
Exactly.
Because a little inconvenience is not an hour and a half.
Right.
It's big city rush hour is legit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in a Audible book because I'm gonna be stuck here for a long time.
And you'll finish the whole thing by the time you get home.
You're so right about that. Yeah. I wanted to go to that show at the Astro. I heard it was great.
It was so good.
Yeah,
I'm going to our first show at the Astro. I think it's the amphitheater, but Andrew Bird.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk on an earlier episode. We did talk about kind of how awesome it is, the music scene and the accessibility, because the cost thing, it really is a big deal. When we were younger, I've been to so many concerts, and because it was wicked cheap. Back in the day, it was like $5 to go see Glass Tiger at the arena. Had no idea I was going to talk about Glass Tiger on this episode. But, it was but there's all these shows that came through. You could see Tiffany at the mall or for free, and you could go see.
Or you go to an all day outdoor music event for $10.
Or or a donation of canned foods.
Exactly. I was contemplating. I was waiting till the day of to take my 15-year-old to go see Olivia Rodrigo. The cheapest tickets were $200.
Yes.
Even after the show started.
Right. You're come on. She's already on. Can I just get it?
So it's just a completely different experience. I mean, I used to go to the Cog Factory and watch shows.
Me too.
And how nobody got tetanus, I don't know.
We have
all
some
that
stories
furniture.
about honestly, with her husband, I have a great story about the Cog with him. We could talk about that later, but yes.
Might have been with friends outside breathing in between shows.
Yes.
And a prostitute got kicked out of a car, and we helped her to the little white cigarette shop at the end to get Band-Aids.
Yep. That used to have a phone booth.
And it's we did our good deed for the day.
Yep.
Back into the Cog.
Yeah. You good? We're good. We're going to go rock out to some punk rock music. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. What about restaurants? Any new eateries or?
My husband and I are kind of boring. We living in Dundee, we frequent the Strip.
Yeah.
And kind of work our way down from Hoppy Taco to the Dell to Pitch to Jaipur and repeat. I've heard really, really good things about Odelay.
Oh, yeah.
That opened up in Mark's old space.
That's right. I'd be meaning to go there.
Yeah. And cool concepts. I've heard the food's really, really good. I'm still bitter that Dario's is closed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
R.I.P.
Yes.
I digress. I don't know. I've a couple friends that are just really, really good cooks, and I'd rather go to their houses and hang out and let them cook because they love to, and then hang there. Bouillon. I love Bouillon.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've been there, actually.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. And La Bouvette.
Yeah. I mean,
That's where we got our engagement pictures there.
Oh, I love it.
Like
I love that.
that was
such a
like
cute
that was
place.
our third date was La Bouvette, and like I had an apartment right catty corner to La Bouvette, and so it was just like it was our place. That's where we discovered
Exactly.
like favorite wine, and that's where we
Yeah.
planned like our honeymoon was to go to that winery. And it was
Love
just
it.
like
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
La Bouvette.
Our place is Fizzy's. That was our first date, and we
Fizzy's is-
we're there like twice a week. Or
Oh my
like,
gosh,
all the
it's
time.
so good.
It's so good.
It's so good and such a fun concept.
Yeah, and they've got
Yeah.
food, they've got options for me. I'm a vegan and gluten free.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so they've got great options. And
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm being bad eating like an amazing burger.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Fizzy so
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
So great.
yeah. Well, do you want to?
what else were we gonna say? Oh yeah, so are you besides volunteering like
Yeah.
coaching? Are you involved in other volunteer work or do you do anything with nonprofits?
Yeah. So I just cycled off of the board within like the last 2 years. I feel like my concept of time since COVID is gone. So I think it's actually been a couple years, but there's Bags of Fun.
Yes,
Kind of a funny name. But it is a group that they put together a backpack filled with toys for kiddos fighting chronic diseases that have long stays in the hospital. And so they have their stuff that they can take with them, like for each chemo treatment or whatever infusions they're getting, or if they're just have to be admitted back into the hospital, they have their bag of fun they can take. It started in Denver. The mom who runs it, her daughter had cancer, and so she always packed her bag of fun to go into the hospital. And while they were there, she started making bags for her friends that were in the hospital with her. And she unfortunately didn't beat her cancer, but so her mom started this in her honor. And so it started in Denver. I know that they have one in Kansas City, in Omaha. I believe they're branching out a little bit more, but it's a really cool thing. And they, take the bag in and you get to see the kid's face light up and they get all this stuff. And it's like really nice stuff that everybody gets a Kindle Fire. And I mean, each bag is like worth $300 worth of stuff. And Fat Brain Toys works with them a lot on that. And then I always joke, it's like kids and bags are the things I volunteer for. The Christ Child Society is a group that they put together like a layette bag for needy single moms, or even not single, just needy moms who have a new baby, and it's got, onesies and pacifiers and swaddles and information and diapers and things like that. And so we give the bags to a lot of hospitals or agencies that assist new moms in need, and some of the school districts like Westside and some of the other public high schools, and are branching out to kind of include, it was through it's in Omaha, but then reaching out through the Lincoln Archdiocese and kind of like north of Omaha. And so there's a couple different auxiliary groups that make up the entity, and their headquarters is in Rockbrook, and just have our meetings there and pack the bags. And
Awesome.
you get to hand out. It used to be, their old location was on 10th and Williams.
Oh yeah.
And they had the whole building, the Christ Child Center, and the individuals would come in and you get to meet them and hand the bag if you were there building the bags and things. So that was always interesting. I wish that part could still work, but it's just harder
Yeah,
to
it's harder.
connect on that level. But anything that helps kids,
Yes, awesome.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything with your kids? for volunteering?
Well, we try to. We've done a lot of open door mission. Once they were old enough to serve food, Henry really enjoyed that. Like he wants us to get back into it because we've kind of fallen out of doing it. But we most recently did Do Good Days with Share Omaha, and so they were out of school on one of the days, so we went to the Humane Society and helped clean, and it was a lot of work. We were just like scrubbing down things, and then we helped with like sorting donations and saw like what kind of donations come in. They get a lot of great donations, but like the long time, I think she actually works there now. She was a volunteer, I think, but she was just explaining how, we get so many towels and blankets, but we really need like food. That's what we spend the bulk of our money on. We need like dog food and cat food. And we learned that they have a kind of a pantry where people can come and get food for their pets that if they can't afford to feed them.
That is so nice.
And cat litter and toys. Even there's like some donations that they won't keep for the dogs maybe in the Humane Society, but they'll give it to people who come for like the food and stuff. They can pick through there, and
that's awesome.
So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So
I didn't think
definitely need
about that.
Dog food.
There's a lot of volunteer opportunities in town. You know,
oh my gosh, yes.
Both my kids graduated from Westside, and they had service learning hours that they had to fulfill for graduation, and so we got pretty creative with those. But also when I had my program at Westside, one of the particulars about the grant was that we had to do volunteerisms along with like mentorships, internships, and everything. And so the students we would set our schedules, and there were certain things we did every week. We did some kind of volunteer. So whether it would be the backpack program with Food Bank for the Heartland, or I taught them how to crochet. And this was before Jean Leahy Mall, the revamp, but taught them how to crochet and arm knit, and we made things for homeless, and we just tied it around to the trees in the park. We did pancreatic cancer. We did for Project Purple. We ran the Lincoln Half Marathon for fundraising, which is funny. 6 years ago, some of my students did their first half marathon, and 2 of them did this past weekend on the 6th anniversary
cool.
of it. So one did a half and one did the full, and I sent pictures of them from 6 years ago. It was so cool. But
that's so fun.
But there's just so many things like that you can piggyback, whether it be a fitness goal with fundraising, like kind of like with team and training. But there's it's just really, really cool opportunities to get involved. So maybe we should. I'd love to talk more about volunteerism at some point, but that's. I mean,
it's a whole episode of that.
I mean, it's amazing how much you give back to this community with how much you have going on. So
I can say the Refugee Empowerment Center is also a really cool entity. And there's, just the, and one of thinking of that Restoring Dignity and the Furniture Project, they've paired up now. Furniture Project was started by a friend of mine from high school who's a fireman.
Kevin knows him.
Drew Gherkin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he and his fireman buddies would just, if you had furniture, come pick it up. He had a storage unit and would help furnish refugees' homes.
Love that.
And now it's a full blown. He's a CEO. He's got somebody who runs stuff, and they've partnered with Restoring Dignity, which was started by a graduate from Marion. I forget who it is, but they put together like cleaning kits for refugee families. They'll get a bucket with all the stuff and instructions on how to use everything in the language that they need it in, and then teach them how to use it.
That's awesome.
Because there's oftentimes, I knew of a couple situations where I think they were Karen, but they were having like a daycare for their community. But when the inspector's quote came through or whatever, in their culture, babies from, infants all the way through 12, whatever, you nap on the floor.
Yes.
And that's not proper.
Got it.
So they got their license revoked. And so then these 5 women were no longer employed, and then they felt like, the man's out to get me, and, just in helping to bridge those gaps between American expectation and where they're coming from. And so Restoring Dignity does a really good job of providing materials in a slew of different languages and
amazing
things like that.
That's amazing. Okay, so then segue into our final question that we ask all of our guests, because that's inspiring in itself. What do you find inspiring about the community, or where do you go to find inspiration?
Kim kind of gave me a heads up on this one, but I've been thinking about it ever since she told me, and I was like, geez. I would say just the community. The chance for people to do so many cool things and be involved with so many different things, as far, whether it's philanthropy or art exposure or anything. There's just you can find your group of like-minded individuals to do what you want to do. You know, it's a really cool little space in the middle of nowhere, kind of. But I would say, you know, just all the things that I've become involved in the community was because someone told me about them, or, you know, and so it was just through community that I found out how to help different aspects of community. And so I think that's what inspires me the most, is the diversity of opportunities to help. And then you learn, like, actually how, you know, Omaha is fairly diverse.
Yes.
Even though a lot of us, like, live in these pods and don't get, so trying to break that and down those walls to experience the different kinds of individuals in different parts of Omaha and history of Omaha.
Love that answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good. Is there anything else that you would like to say, plug, sing?
Say,
you can
plug,
sing
whatever.
if you want.
No, we don't need to do that. We don't want to kill your viewership. Try new things. Try live in Omaha. Like, that's, you know, go places that you didn't think you'd want to necessarily go to, because there's fun stuff everywhere.
Yeah, that staycation. I mean, I may have to steal from you. That idea is awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
It was really fun. Well, and then, like, when we went to the baseball game yesterday for the kids' field trip, I'd never been to Warner Park before. And it's actually a pretty nice little field, and easily, like, a good size to manage with kids, where you can just let them run and roam. And just the area out that way. I was like, I don't go out there very often. I should probably try to do this. But yeah, I mean, there's something for everybody.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. I think that's our show. I want to let everyone know that we have show notes for the episode. So you'll find links for all the things that we talk about. Cool. So if any, like, if you feel like volunteering, we have links to all the things all the places that we've mentioned. And be sure to follow us on social media. It's Oh My Omaha. And thanks for being here, Megan.
Thank you for inviting me so much.
Fun. Yeah.
It was so fun. All right. We'll see you later. Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from Dee and I, keep on exploring.